Hello students, good morning. Students, after completing the study about alimentary canal and digestive glands associated to the alimentary canal, today we are going to discuss about the step of digestion in man. So students, as we know that the process of digestion in human take place in their alimentary canal or gastrointestinal tract. So the process of digestion is a very complex and is ascertained by the secretion of various digestive juices from the associated glands. So here in this lecture we are just going to discuss about these steps and from where these digestive enzymes or juices secrete and what function they perform. So the digestion in man can be divided into following 5 steps. What are these? Just look at here. These are initiation, the next initiation is digestion, after digestion, the digested food is absorbed into the small intestine. That is called absorption. Further, after the process of absorption, the absorbed food is used for the formation of new substances as well as the cellular content such as protoplasm. So this is called assimilation. And this is the last step in which the residual, or you can say that waste undigested food is removed out from the body, that is called egestion. Okay. Now going to discuss about these steps. Ingestion, students, taking of food with the help of our hand into our mouth or buccal cavity, that is called ingestion of food. As the food enters inside our buccal cavity, the salivary glands secretes saliva and our teeth that present in upper and lower jaws helps in mastication of food. Tongues also serves the functions like a spoon and it helps in mixing as well as carrying the food to our tooth. Thus, the masticated food get converted into curd, and the enzyme that is present in the saliva converts the carbohydrate into glucose. Now the food, or you can say that curd, masticated food, curd passes to the oropharynx From oropharynx, it further leads into the oesophagus. So here students, once I am going to draw the passage of food into the gastrointestinal tract. So from mouth to oropharynx, oropharynx to oesophagus, it means that is called food pipe. Esophagus to the stomach, stomach to the duodenum, duodenum to the jejunum, and from jejunum to the ileum. These are the part of small intestine. Yes, student. These are the part of small intestine. Okay. Now, with the help of ileocecum junction, the food enters into the first part of the large intestine, that is called cecum. And from cecum, it passes into the colon. As you have already studied, the colon is further divided into three parts: ascending, transverse, and descending colon. The colon further leads into the rectum part, and from rectum it opens outside through anus. The anus is well covered by the radial shaped sphincter muscles that only allow the removal of the food when the undigested, or you can say that the digestion process of the food is completed. So students, cecum, colon and rectum becoming the part of large intestine. Large intestine. Is that clear? So from oesophagus, in oesophagus there is a movement take place that is called peristalsis. Okay, student, you have to learn and remember this movement that is called peristalsis movement. Where is this movement found? This movement is found in oesophagus or food pipe. What we call oesophagus? Food pipe. Okay. So, the salivary gland starts the process of digestion of food in our mouth, and we can say that the process of digestion of food first takes place in our mouth. Where the process of digestion of food takes place first? In our mouth. Okay? How and what is the reason? So, we can call the process of digestion of food takes place in our mouth first, due to the secretion or release of ptyalin. Saliva that contains ptyalin or amylase that converts the carbohydrate into glucose. Is that clear? Now, through this movement, the food enters into the stomach. The lining of the food pipe is well lined by mucus secreting cells It means the inner lining of the esophagus is well lined by the mucus secreting cell. That allow the passage of the food into the esophagus without any friction. It is about 12 to 15 centimeter long tube through which the food from oropharynx, which is 5 to 7 centimeter long, passes through the esophagus, which is 12 to 15 centimeter long, and it finally leads into the stomach. As the food enters into the stomach, the second step, it means as the digestion process is started from mouth cavity or oral cavity, you can say that mouth or oral cavity with the secretion of saline. Okay. Now, in stomach, as the food enters into the stomach inner wall contains roots, and roots are well lined by gastric glands. What? Gastric glands. Yes, students. The gastric glands are present on the inner wall of the stomach, and these releases a juice that is concentrated with the hydrochloric acid and pepsin. Okay, so HCl and pepsin is released from the gastric juice. This gastric juice emulsifying the curd that enters from esophagus to the stomach, and a special type of movement also takes place in the stomach, that is the churning movement. What? Churning movement. This movement helps in grinding the curd into the small and so small pieces, and further it get converted into chyme, in which they convert into chyme. In mouth, the food convert into curd, and from curd to it get converted into chyme. Now, as the food or as the chyme enters into the duodenum, the duodenum contains a common opening or orifice of bile and pancreatic duct. Bile and pancreatic duct. From there, the bile juice is released by the gallbladder, and the endocrine and the exocrine part of the pancreas releases pancreatic juice that contains how many enzymes? Yes, 6 enzymes. Pancreatic amylase, pancreatic lipase, trypsin, chymotrypsin, pancreatic nuclease, and proteases. So these enzymes helps in converting the large, or you can say that complex nutrients into more simpler form that get absorbed into the jejunum part, that is the middle part of the small intestine. Duodenum is of about 15 centimeter C-shaped tube, and the jejunum is of about 2.5 to 4 meter long tube. The complete small intestine is of about 6.5 to 7 meter long. So, and the larger part of the jejunum, its inner wall are lined by the microvilli, of which microvilli are villi. These are the structures that are present on the inner wall and helps in the absorption of food, helps in absorption of the digested food into the small intestine. Is that clear? Now, from ileum, the digested food passes into the cecum, and thus the process of digestion is completed, almost completed, or most of the process of digestion of food completed into the just small intestine, and after that the middle part of the small intestine has large surface area that is well lined by the microvilli, where the digested food is completely absorbed. Is that clear? Now, after the process of absorption, the absorbed food through microvilli, the inner wall of the small intestine are well lined by capillaries and other types of blood vessels. These vessels are helpful in transportation of the food, because the absorbed food is directly passes due to semi-permeable nature of these blood vessels, and the absorbed food is further passes into the blood stream, from where it further passes to the each and every cell, tissue, organs of the body, where the oxidation of food takes place, and that some amount of the absorbed food undergoes for the process of assimilation. It means formation of new substances such as protoplasm and various types of polypeptides and amino acids. So, this is called the assimilation of food. Now, when some amount of the digestion of food also take place into the large intestine part, if any kind of ocils are present in carnivorous, or you can say that flesh or meats, then the inner wall of the large intestine also secretes some amount of enterokinase and hydrochloric acid that helps in the digestion of the bones if comes with the food. So, the undigested food is further or finally the waste matter is finally egated out from the body. This is called egestion of food. Thus, students, you have learned in this video lecture about about the step of digestion in man. And I hope you clearly understand how the passage of food take place in the different organs of this organ system. It means alimentary canal and digestive tract of the human, by which processes. Thanks students for joining today's lecture.